So the first thing to remember when we're learning about fractions is that fractions are part of a whole. Now I'm going to explain that concept a little bit more as we go through this thing, but what you need to remember is the whole idea of fractions there's a whole and they've been broken up into parts, and that is the part that we're talking about. So I'm demonstrating it with circles. Now this circle here is one whole. As you can see, it hasn't actually been broken up at all. It is just one whole. And that's what that's what we'll base the rest of the fractions off. So this one here, as you can see, has been broken up into 2 bits. Now because it's been broken up into 2 bits, I'm going to use my pen. The denominator, which is the bottom number, is 2, because the whole has been broken up into two different sections. Now if we're just talking about one section of the whole, we would say that it's 1 out of the 2. That's the fraction that we're dealing with, 1 out of the 2. If we were dealing with both of the sections, it would be 2 over 2, which is equal to 1 whole. Because as you can see there, if we have the 2 parts together, it makes up a full circle. Whereas if I take 1 away, that is 1 part of the 2, which makes it 1/2. So this fraction here would be 1/2 because it's 1 out of the 2. So we'll move on to this one here. Now this one here has been broken up into 4 different sections. And because it's been broken into 4 different sections, the denominator, which is the bottom number, is always going to be 4, because that's what the whole has been broken up into. If we have a look here, if I take 1 away, the fraction is 1, 2, 3. It'd be 3 over 4, which is also known as 3/4. If I take 2 away, it would be 2 over 4. If I take 3 away, it would be 1 over 4. 1 out of the 4, which would also be known as a quarter, half, 3/4, and a whole. So for this one, for the purpose of this one here, I will take 1 away, and the fraction that we are left with is 3/4, or 3 out of the 4. Go over to the next page. It gets a little bit more complex. As you can see here, this shape, the circle here, has been broken into 3. So our denominator is 3. Our numerator, which is the top number, will just vary depending on how many sections of that shape that's been divided into 3 we are looking at. So if I take 1 away, there we are left with 2/3. If I take 2 away, we are left with 1/3, 1 over 3. There's one of the section left there. I'll just put this one back together, and we will make that one 2/3, because there's 2 pieces that make up the whole left there. Now with our last example, we have a shape that has been divided into 5s. So the denominator, which is the bottom number, is 5. So it's how many pieces out of 5 that you're working with. So if I take 1 away, it's 4/5. The numerator, which is the number on top, would be 4. If I take away another piece, it would be 3/5. If I take away another piece, it would be 2/5, and so on. Now, what I'm going to do is put it back as a whole, and we'll just look at it a little bit of a different way. So if I wanted to see what this was worth, this one over here would actually be worth 1/5. It's 1 out of the 5. 5 over 5 equals a whole, but that one there is 1 part of it. So I'll take 2 out, which leaves us with 3/5. And over here, this one here is 2/5. So if you add the numerators together, you would get 5/5, which would be 1 whole when you bring them both back together. Hope that's made the basics of fractions a little bit clearer to you. I'll be doing some more videos as we go on though to explain it a little bit in a little bit more depth.